The time has finally come to do this front entryway. I get so excited when I think about how I'm going to do this entryway from season to season, because this is the entryway to the home. This is how we greet our guests. There has been so many changes since I had you all in this area last. I'm going to show you how the containers are looking. We're finally getting ready to pull these, and I've never been so excited to pull them. We had so many votes that said leave them in place, and when I ask a question, I am wanting to know, do you all really think we should pull, or should we go ahead and leave them in place? And I left it in you all's hand, and we had more that said keep than more that said pull. So I went with the greater majority. Let me show you what these containers are looking like. Containers are faded. I had to back off of watering these because my ranunculus are in here, and I'm going to be saving all of my corms. So each year I save my corms from year to year. Down at the bottom here, you can see the violas have started to fade, so we're going to go ahead and pull all of these. The violas will be going to a friend. The verbena here, although they are putting out a nice show, we're going to pull these and we're going to use these in another area. Here we have the garden bed. Everything's flushing out. We're going to get back there. We're going to address these weeds. And this garden bed, same thing here with these containers. And we're going to address the front containers. The bed is so lush. We are going to also pull the violas that filled in, and it didn't take long for them to fill in this area, so we're going to address these. And then we have some nutsedge here, but we'll get all of that once we address this bed. Do with this verbena, I'm going to take it, we're going to water it in lightly. It's going to stay in this crate until I bump it up into a plastic container. I am going to cut everything back slightly, and then they'll flush out with new blooms, and I'll be able to use these for other containers. I have something more exciting than this to show you in this container, because guess what? We got some free hydrangeas. We have these two hydrangeas. They are close to the trunk. I'm going to try to get them out individually. I might have to do it separately, but I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit of the root here. Root system, I'm going to see if I can split this in half. If it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, then it just didn't make it. I went right into half of this. I ran and got some bamboo sticks real quick. We're going to just cut this down just to give that plant a little bit more stabilization. We're going to pop this in the pot. I got to clear all of these plants out, and then we're going to head to Lowe's to do a little bit of shopping for the plants that we're going to pop in these containers. I'm going to take this leaf down here at the bottom off, push it down a little bit more into the soil. Put the bamboo cane in there right beside it, and we're going to stabilize this baby. These violas and pansies should come up really easy because this soil is pretty nice, it's workable. So I will be giving these to my friend as well. And she'll put these in her garden. Even the ones that don't seem like they have any color to them, they'll go to her as well. And she doesn't necessarily have a certain color scheme that she's going for. It's just the look. And so even some of my sedum ground cover is over here in this section. You're looking for a ground cover that really spreads and can take the heat. That's one for you. I'm trying to look for two Kimberly ferns. These are Kimberly Queen ferns. They're full sun to part sun. They say part sun, but here in our region, we put them in full sun. And then, thank you. And then there's also a sun fern that you can also use too if you don't believe that you can put the Kimberly fern in full sun. So I have these two. This one right here is a little bit full. This one right here is full. It's nice, but I kind of want to match these. They don't have to look like twins, but they at least need to look like sisters. So let's see what else we got over here. Here is our selection over here on this side. And so what I try to do is I try to look at the foliage and see which one is higher than the other one. So it looks like this one right here is a little bit higher. So we will take this one out. Okay, plop it right there. See what I mean? So now we can take this little guy out right here. We have this one right here. All right, that's a little better than the one we had next to it. This one over here is a little bit on the smaller side. Now these will get a lot bigger over the season. Okay, so this is the standard right here. So we're gonna go and pull this apart here. And so we know we are getting that one. Compare. It seems like this one right here is fuller, so we'll go with this one and this one right here. Take this one out the shot. Okay, so there we have our two right there. So I'm going to tie in my drip tubing here, and the only thing I'm doing is I am connecting my drip tubing into my irrigation line. This excess off. Hope you guys can see this. All right, so that's just going to connect in right here. Okay, so now from there, I'm going to start setting up my drip tubing. Total of 4. Okay, so then 1, 2, 3 in the front, and then I'll clip it off and I'll just put a goof plug in the front. Now I ran out of the goof plugs for the 1/4 inch vinyl, but I'm going to use the bigger goof plugs. They'll work just as good. This will go down in the end to stop the water from spilling out on this side. You can see now that we have a little bit more shade, we have a coral geranium here. We have a banana lantana. Then I came in with a lemony lace licorice plant, and then we have Supertunia Bordeaux. Once this grows out, this is going to be absolutely amazing. And then we have our Kimberly Fern at the top. This is going to be gorgeous, and it's going to just give what we needed to give. Look at that. So I have a 50-foot roll of poly drip tubing here. I'm going to tie into it. I'm going to tap into it. So let's run this, and then I'll show you how we're going to tie this in. This tube right here is coming from the container. I've had that in for quite some time. I connected it to my poly tubing. This is going to run behind the bed. I have this open for right now because I'm going to come in with some drip tubing, the bigger drip tubing, and that's going to run across the front and the back of my bed, and that's going into the container. I have the rest of the poly tubing just resting behind this container for right now, and then once we continue to tie into the drip tubing, then we'll move it further along. But for right now, it's just going to rest right here behind this container until the rest of the system is hooked up. Now that we have the containers done, now let's store the ranunculus corms. My ranunculus corms. I like to take my ranunculus corms, and what I do is I'll go ahead and I'll wash them out just like I do my dahlia tubers, and I'll let them dry in an area where there's a lot of airflow, and I'll let them cure there for a little while, and then I'll take them and I'll put them inside of an organza bag and let them dry a little bit longer. And then once I know that they're dry, they're shriveled up, kind of similar to how you get them before you wake them up, then I'll go ahead and I'll put them into a paper bag. And I use the organza bag because I like to put the label down inside of there. I have my front containers planted up. I have the plants that we pulled out. I have those waiting in the bay station. Those are going to get potted up, used in another area. I'm so excited. Drop down in the comment box. Let me know, what do you think about these containers? Are they bringing it or what? Because I'm uber excited about them, and I love, love, love a beautiful container. And although it looks like I have a lot of plants stuffed down in this container, you guys have to remember that the reservoir of the container matters. Container size matters. Gives my plants a lot of room to stretch down and reach, and then there is still spaces in between my plants. But when you're using bigger plants, you have a fuller look from the beginning. Let me know what you think about this container.